So yeah, so this was pretty much one of my takeaways, but I want to see what you guys think of it. So, um, do you think Tariq is actually going to give Tate, information about Brayden's family, the Westons, and the senator guy or whatever, I don't know what the position is. What is he?
He's a congressman.
Congressman. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, your politics is very different from ours, so yeah. So do you think Tariq is actually going to, give up information on Brayden? So I'll go to you first, Dana. What do you think about that?
That was my I don't know face. But story wise, that would be a great plot twist because here's the thing. We know that the Sweeneys, he's after Sweeney's seat, and we do know that he is very determined. And what better way to blindside by someone by revealing everything that happens, including with the drugs and with the fact that the drugs are being stashed at their compound, wherever that compound may be. It's under their name. And we do know that there is a person who is looking to take down the Sweeneys. So it's just really convenient that they purposely, talked about we had to move the stash. Oh, don't worry, it's at my parents' house. That was very important, and I think that that is something that they will come back to, and that it will implicate them in some kind of big drug money laundering school thing that connects back to the school, and Brayden will somehow get caught up in this. Whether we or not we will learn that, or whether or not Brayden will learn that it comes directly from Tariq's mouth, we don't know. But I do see Brayden's family being taken down. The fact that they focused on, even though we're on episode 2, but they focused on Brayden's family this year. We know they come from money, power, then they have that kind of prestige in that political miss. And it will come back to bite them. Brayden, here's the other thing that we should look out for, whether or not Brayden will care. Brayden wants to break away from his family, and he wants to be able to do things on his own. Not sure he's able to do it with poverty, but he's still wants to do things on his own and by himself. If it comes to a place where he is not implemented in what the downfall of his family, meaning he doesn't face any kind of charges and it comes back to him, I feel he might be okay with it. No one, he probably doesn't want to see his what is it, uncle go to jail or his family being dragged through the courts. And he will probably be upset and have some regret about that. But overall, I don't see this being a huge impact on him. He may look at this as an opportunity to break free. And this might be something where he views as a blessing. And while he may be angry at Tariq, I don't know if that'll be a long-lasting anger.
Interesting. What about you, Rich? What's your thoughts on that?
Those are some very good thoughts for sure, Dana. We have to give you props for that. I think it's going to really be a test of loyalty for these two for the season, because I do agree that I don't think Brayden would, he wants to separate himself from the family. What's going to be interesting to find out is to see, because last season, the relationship between Tariq and Brayden was strained because of Sax's niece, who was at the time his girlfriend, and we saw how Tariq dealt with that situation. So now that the family is involved, it kind of raises the stakes a little bit more. When they had said that they had moved the drugs, the other thing I thought about was, is that a smart decision? Because we know that Trace has an issue with drugs. We saw that last season, and I don't think that he learned his lesson from last season. I think that he could still be an issue, because again, this is the older brother that is annoying the younger brother and all this other stuff. And you saw, like how Dana mentioned earlier, how Trace was in that fraternity. his brother is still commanding him, telling him, do this, you're gonna do what I say, stuff like that. So I thought that he was going to also get involved in this, and he could still get involved in it. But to answer the question, I think if Tariq has to work with Tate and get him information on Sweeny, he definitely will do whatever he has to do. But here is the wild card in all of this. Carrie. Because if something happens to Carrie, and you know that Tate is interested in Carrie, that kind of complicates the situation a little bit in terms of him working with Tariq. Yes, he does want to be governor more than trying to get with Carrie. But I think that dynamic, he's probably the type of person that's going to want everything. You know, he's going to want her and he's going to want that position. So I'm curious to see how they're going to work that out. Also, we also know that Sachs and McLean do not like Tate. And they're going to cross paths again now that Carrie is in the picture. So I'm curious to see how that storyline progresses. But to answer your original question, Gary, I do think that Tariq is eventually going to give up some information on Sweeny. And in my opinion, he should, since he went hunting with them on that trip and almost got shot. So in my mind, Tariq should want to try to see something happen with this guy. But we'll see how the storyline plays out.
Yeah, great points.
And just to say, not Tariq, the dude with the Tate, Lawrence Tate.
Yeah.
The thing with his character is that he thinks he can use his sexualness to influence or get people to be on his side, and Carrie is just not feeling it in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is also a huge roadblock there. And I think that in terms of Tate and his growth, I would like to see him try something else as opposed to trying to bet a woman to get information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, great points. Yeah, I agree with Rich. I think Tariq will give up some information. Now, I think he'll do it in a way where he'll kind of look out for Brayden. He won't, directly implicate him, or he won't put him in a vulnerable situation. But I think he'll give up some information, some important information that Tate can use in his takedown of Sweeny. And we know that there's some kind of tension in the family already. Like Rich highlighted, the brothers, they don't exactly get along all the way. And then, the sister, she kind of has like a pessimistic outlook on the family as well, particularly, the parents and everything. So I think there's some inner turmoil there within the family that might actually, end up hurting Brayden in some way. Like maybe this will become a problem for him. Like his family will create issues for him, and it will kind of take his head out the game as far as the drugs. So then Tariq can kind of step in, give Tate some information, and then, it kind of, smooths over the family situation so they can keep selling the drugs. So, whether that leads to people getting locked up or having to go away or something like that. Like, I think, Tariq is going to do it in a very calculating way where it solves problems for him and Brayden. But we just have to see how that unfolds, because it could happen in so many different ways. It just depends on, what's going to happen, with the family and stuff like that. And also the investigation, because that's also a big part of this too. So